Give it to me, X. Hey, man, this year, you said you had up and downs year. Give me your evaluation, of what you thought the season was. I know it didn't end the way you wanted it to end, but how was the season for in your eyes?
Um, I felt like the season was successful for sure. Um, Expectation wise, like I didn't really know where we would finish out, at the beginning of the year. Because at first it wasn't looking too good for us. We were losing a lot of games early, but we got it together and went on some serious runs. Individually, though, I had definitely, like I said earlier, a lot of ups and downs throughout the year. But I felt like this year I really learned how to be a pro, like how to, no matter my situation, be ready to go, keep putting in the work, keep locking in on the scout, and working on my body and whatnot, and just stay ready all the time.
Uh, this summer, X, just what are the things you're going to emphasize in terms of, just continue to progress as a player? And I know you and Jaren have a real good relationship. Like, you plan on working out with him this summer, too?
Um, I don't know if I'll go to LA with him or anything like that to work out. Maybe. I doubt it though. I got my own family. I got to do my own thing here. But a lot of conditioning stuff, making sure that I'm ready to go from the jump. A lot of skill stuff, working on different finishes, working on different ISO stuff. If I ever get in any situations where they're denying the guards and I can't get a pass off, then it's time for me to go to work. So working on stuff like that and being ready, and then just making the right reads and shooting.
X. So you had that point where you say like your situation, you had to be ready when it's called upon, and for you that was getting thrown into the starting lineup in the playoffs and having those reps, having those games. Just what did you take away from that experience, and how that experience could be beneficial for your development going forward?
I'm incredibly grateful for those minutes and those opportunities for sure. But I also took from it that I took it for granted. I thought once I got there that I had the spot, and that, it kind of hurt my play. I was a little bit lackadaisical out there thinking, hey, I'll get it next game, don't worry about it, instead of like making every game as important as it needs to be. So coming in the next season, that's my goal, is to not take any plays off and to make sure I'm the guy doing all the little things day in and day out.
You mentioned that you feel like this is the year you really became a pro, and you do have the family and everything. So how has it been trying to balance all these things from a personal perspective, given, you're further along in life than, some of the other guys?
A lot of FaceTimes with my wife, Tamia, a lot of FaceTimes, and trying to plan this life out together, while I'm on the road, and figuring out how I can still be a part of, our children's lives while I'm still on the road, and having opportunities where they can come on the road with me, like during the Christmas in San Francisco, during the playoffs, a little bit too. So it's been a lot, but at the same time, I feel like the coaching staff and obviously my wife have just been really good at making it work for me and not putting too much stress on me to be in one area or be in another.
We have time for two more. We'll go to Mark and finish with Evan.
X, do you expect to play in Summer League again this year?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so.
Last question, Evan.
X nights you can look back on it, obviously facing Draymond and kind of learning from him in this series. He said he didn't want you guys to learn too much from playing against him, but now that you guys have faced Draymond, what has he meant to you just now from this playoff series? What can you just learn from him, and just kind of just how he approaches the series, but also just being a mentor to you now in this memorable moment, obviously with all these ex-Spartans in that series?
Yeah, he's the ultimate competitor. That guy, he'll talk trash the whole time, win or lose, and he's playing hard the whole game. So one thing I definitely learned from him this series was his relentlessness of just being who he is as far as being that dominant defensive presence, getting a lot of steals, getting a lot of deflections and whatnot, and leading him on that end. And then as well as on the offensive end, if you're watching him, he's the one pushing their pace and getting them all those easy layups by telling guys to cut and whatnot and putting the ball in the right places. So I learned a lot from him for sure in the series that I look to try to take into my game going further on in my career.